Oh my goodness, September 9th was supposed to be nothing more than another boring courtroom date, just a procedural step. Just one of those check-the-box legal hearings Meghan Markle thought her team would breeze through. But instead, oh honey, it turned into a public disaster. By the time that gavel fell, Meghan's carefully polished image as a woman in full control of her destiny completely shattered. Picture this: the appeals court hearing, expected to be quick and quiet, spiraled into a full-blown spectacle, raw, live, and impossible to spin. Every lawyer, every reporter, every royal watcher, everyone saw it. And then came the moment. Chief Judge William Pryor leaned forward, calm but razor-sharp, and sliced through Meghan's entire legal strategy with one brutal line: "Your arguments are beside the point, ouch." Not just a critique. That was a dagger, aimed straight at Meghan's so-called dream team of attorneys. Witnesses swear you could see the blood drain from their faces. These were supposed to be the best in the business, yet here they were, stumbling, fumbling, trying to defend why they had skipped over basic legal procedures. Can you imagine? Meghan wasn't even present in the courtroom, but oh, the weight of that sentence must have hit her like a truck when word got back to her Montecito mansion. And then, silence. The entire courtroom froze. Not the polite hush of legal decorum, no. This was that chilling kind of silence, the kind that creeps in when everyone realizes they're witnessing a disaster unravel in real time. And who was right there, ready to seize the moment? None other than Samantha Markle's bulldog attorney, Peter Tickton. This man didn't walk into court. He stormed in like a general with a battle plan, and oh, did he execute it. No drowning the room in technicalities, no overcomplicated tangles. Instead, he went straight for the jugular. His approach? Simple but lethal. Expose the weakness, point out the inconsistencies, and let Meghan's legal team collapse under their own weight. And collapse, they did. Tickton even mocked their strategy, calling Meghan's defense a smorgasbord of arguments. That single word, so clever, so biting, stuck in everyone's mind. You could almost hear the collective gasp. He wasn't just dismantling their logic, he was mocking their entire approach. Why were Meghan's lawyers throwing everything at the wall instead of confronting Samantha's claims directly? The implication was clear and damning. They were scared of the truth. And guess what? That little word, smorgasbord, spread like wildfire. From legal circles to royal gossip forums, everyone was repeating it. Meghan's dream team suddenly looked desperate, disorganized, and completely outclassed. The worst part? Meghan's lawyers admitted it. Instead of fighting back with sharp counterarguments, they confessed to overlooking critical details in their motion to dismiss. Confessed! That's not just a bad day in court, that's a meltdown. For Meghan, this wasn't just another headline she could brush aside with a podcast or a glossy magazine cover. No, darling, this was her legal credibility evaporating, and it came at the absolute worst time. After years of carefully reconstructing her brand as polished, powerful, untouchable, she suddenly looked like the face of a courtroom disaster. Back in Montecito, the news hit Meghan like a thunderclap. She had been so sure this case was just a nuisance, something her high-priced attorneys could squash before it ever got serious. But now, her team's humiliating mistakes were being broadcast to the world. PR advisors, crisis managers, brand consultants, everyone in her orbit scrambled to contain the fallout. But here's the thing, once the truth is out, no spin machine can put it back in the box. Meghan Markle, the woman who had built a post-royal empire on strength, elegance, and iron control, was suddenly the poster child for legal incompetence. And Samantha's lawyer, Peter Tickton, wasn't just winning motions. Oh no, he was reshaping the narrative itself. He turned that courtroom into his stage, and every single fumble from Meghan's team became part of his performance. Observers whispered that his calm precision wasn't arrogance, it was mastery. He had combed through every document, dissected every line, anticipated every pivot Meghan's team might attempt. So when her attorneys stumbled, when they tried to switch strategies mid-hearing, Tickton didn't even flinch. He just pointed out the contradictions with a cool smirk and moved on, as if he had expected it all along. It was chess, and Meghan's team showed up thinking it was checkers. But what really stung, what pierced deeper than any legal argument, was the emotional bombshell buried in Samantha's filings. The documents revealed that Samantha Markle had allegedly received credible death threats after Meghan's big media blitzes. The Oprah interview, the Netflix series, the public comments where Meghan dismissed her sister with that now infamous line, "I grew up as an only child." Let that sink in. We're not talking about faceless Twitter trolls tossing insults into the void. These were specific, detailed threats, serious enough to draw law enforcement involvement. For Samantha, this wasn't just about bruised feelings. She claimed Meghan's comments erased her identity, painted her as a liar, an opportunist, a stranger, and when those words went global, Samantha's safety was rocked. Suddenly, this wasn't a defamation sideshow anymore. This was about real-world consequences. The case shifted before everyone's eyes. Samantha wasn't simply suing for emotional distress. She pointed to police reports, patterns of online abuse, and a shattered sense of safety. That changed everything. And Meghan's carefully scripted media strategy, now under the harshest spotlight of all, because when someone with Meghan's platform speaks, it isn't just opinion, it's influence. Influence that can mobilize, influence that can incite. And in this case, Samantha's team argued it had consequences. Legal experts began to murmur this wasn't going away quietly. The optics were already a nightmare. Now they had emotional weight. Meghan's attorneys tried to hide behind the opinion defense. They argued her comments were protected free speech. But here's the problem. Free speech gets complicated when someone's physical safety is at risk. Suddenly, the question wasn't just, what did Meghan mean? But what did Meghan's words do? And here's the irony. Meghan's own team made the fatal mistake of underestimating Samantha. They treated the case like an annoying nuisance, not worth much energy. But Samantha's lawyers, they treated it like war, and they fought accordingly. Insiders now whisper that Meghan's inner circle is scrambling, not just to win the case, but to stop the bleeding before it destroys her brand entirely. Because if Meghan loses, even symbolically, it sends a message to the world. She can be challenged, she can be beaten. And in the court of public opinion, that's lethal. Now all eyes are on the appellate court's written opinion. Insiders say it is the most anticipated legal document in Meghan's world right now. Behind palace gates, in Hollywood boardrooms, and inside Meghan's Montecito mansion, one question echoes, how bad will it be? Because the oral arguments already delivered a PR gut punch, but the written decision, that's permanent, that's legal history. And if Judge Pryor's scathing commentary makes it into the final record, the phrases like beside the point, the highlighting of procedural blunders, then Meghan's nightmare won't just live in gossip blogs, it'll be stamped into court documents forever. That would mean any future litigant, an old business partner, a former staffer, even another family member, could wave that precedent in Meghan's face as proof that she's vulnerable. And you can bet Samantha's legal team is already preparing for that next phase. They're not even banking on an outright win. They're playing the long game. Even if the dismissal stands, they've already succeeded in exposing Meghan's weaknesses. And in legal strategy, that's gold. Inside Meghan's Montecito mansion, the atmosphere is described as chaotic. Phones ringing off the hook, PR specialists being pulled in from other projects, brand managers scrambling to patch the leaks. Every corner of her empire is on high alert. Contracts are being re-examined line by line. Podcast producers are being begged to cook up distraction content. Brand consultants are desperately brainstorming ways to shift public focus. But the harsh truth? None of it is working. Why? Because this isn't just another tabloid spat she can outlast. This is a federally documented courtroom mess, the kind of mess that follows you everywhere long after the headlines fade. And brand strategists are spooked. Meghan's entire post-royal identity has been built on a pedestal. Elegance, intelligence, control. But when your lawyers are on record admitting to amateur mistakes, that pedestal crumbles. The shiny, untouchable image collapses into dust. And worse, this isn't just about perception anymore. It's starting to hit Meghan where it hurts most. Her deals. Entertainment insiders whisper that studios and publishers are backing away, quietly but decisively. One executive reportedly called her legally volatile. Ouch. That's not just bad branding. That's poison. Companies negotiating with her are now slipping extra clauses into contracts to shield themselves from legal fallout. Nobody wants to risk being dragged into subpoenas, lawsuits, or scandal by association. And Meghan isn't the only one feeling the heat. Prince Harry, her ever-loyal partner, is now caught in the crossfire. His brand is inseparable from hers, and now he's being pulled into the storm. Sources whisper that tensions are flaring behind those Montecito gates. Harry wanted to reinvent himself as a mental health advocate, a humanitarian with purpose. But instead, his name is being dragged into gossip shows and court reports filled with Meghan's legal blunders. And let's not forget the royal family. Oh, they're watching. Officially, Buckingham Palace is silent, as always. But behind closed doors, insiders claim there's a quiet, grim sense of satisfaction. Remember, this is the couple who rocked the monarchy with their explosive Oprah interview, their Netflix bombshells, their tell-all memoirs. Now, they're the ones under fire, and not from the tabloids, but from federal judges. That lands differently. The royals don't need to say a word. Meghan and Harry's struggles are playing out publicly, and palace insiders are savoring the irony. What's most shocking is just how fast Meghan's aura of untouchability evaporated. One court case, one scathing judge, one razor-sharp opposing attorney, and suddenly Meghan Markle went from ironclad and untouchable to vulnerable, exposed, exposed, human, and that's the real damage. Not just losing a legal battle, not just facing headlines. The real price Meghan is paying is the collapse of her image, her control, her narrative, her entire carefully curated brand. Because once people start to believe you can be beaten, once your control is revealed to be nothing but smoke and mirrors, darling, that is when the sharks start circling. And trust me, in Meghan Markle's world, those sharks are already sharpening their teeth.